Good afternoon, guys. So I'm Mark from Wanchain. I'm the Southeast Asia Business Development Director, and I'm just gonna present about Wanchain. And thank you for having me here today. So I'm just gonna brief you a bit about Wanchain, how it started and stuff like that. So it was founded by Jack Liu. He founded Factom way back in 2014 before Ethereum was even there. So after he sat down for Factom, he founded Wanlu Tech in China. So basically, Wanchain and whatever enterprise solutions that we are doing in China is under the brand Wanlu Tech. So Wanchain is a public chain, and Wanlu Tech mainly focuses on enterprise blockchain solutions in China since 2016. So we do have a few use cases. And with Wanchain, you will definitely get a regional advantage because we have offices in Beijing, Texas, as well as London. So next, digital assets and traditional world. How do we connect them to each other? For example, STO is like the hype now, the thing everyone is speaking about, right? So will financial institutions be receiving digital assets in the future? Or will these traditional financial assets like derivatives product, equities, debts, assets become digital assets? I think we are moving towards that direction now, right? So Wanchain is actually rebuilding finance, and I guess we are fitting in this whole new digital assets ecosystem where all these traditional financial assets or financial institutions will be starting accepting digital assets soon when this whole STO gets mature in the future. So these are our milestone last year. In January 2018, our mainnet was launched with a Monero-like piracy feature. Then in July, we realized the Ethereum Crosschain, and in October, our beta released for Bitcoin at ERC20, and in Q4, the final version of Bitcoin at ERC20 Crosschain is realized. So Wanchain comes in the middle to interconnect other public chains and also private chains. For example, like I mentioned earlier, we already realized Ethereum and Bitcoin. So basically, any private chain, for example, in the future, let's say McDonald's private chain, KFC private chain, and stuff like that, they will be able to communicate with Ethereum, Bitcoin, or other bigger chains through Wanchain. So we are trying to come in the middle like internet instead of the whole intranet era like most blockchains are secluded in their own ecosystem, right? So with Wanchain, you get a bigger ecosystem and stuff like that. Not only that, other decentralized applications that is built on Wanchain are able to connect with private chains and also Ethereum, Bitcoin, or whatsoever other chain that we might realize in every half a year. Every half yearly, we will realize a new blockchain, prominent one, of course. So Ethereum, so there are so many smart contracts and decentralized applications that is running on Ethereum. It's about, few thousand of them. So Wanchain is actually a fork of Ethereum. It's proven that Ethereum is really a good protocol, despite some hiccups at times, right? So Wanchain is actually a fork of Ethereum with two added features: privacy, cross-chain. So why privacy? In the whole financial world, privacy is actually very important. That's the reason why we put in Monero-like privacy. And interoperability is like the thing as well. So all blockchains need to communicate with each other. That's the reason why we feature cross-chain inside. And of course, smart contract, it is like the most common thing that most developers use, and it's so powerful. So I want to speak a bit about privacy transaction mechanism. We use Monero-like privacy with ring signature and OTA, one-time addresses. So it's actually very simple to use. If you go to our wallet, there's a public address and a private address. So all you need to do is to send to the private address of the person which you want to send your coins to. So in the future, for example, you may be able to send Ethereum and Bitcoin through Wanchain, and it's private, no one will know. And now only what Bitcoin private is able to do it, right? But in the future, you can do it with Wanchain as well. And more ERC20 which don't have privacy feature, but with Wanchain, yes, they all can be private in the future. So like I mentioned earlier, cross-chain, where all the blockchain communicate with each other, plus a privacy layer. Can you imagine how transactions can be mask and everything. But of course, you do have a choice whether if you want to mask a transaction or not. So when it comes to bigger things or more government institution like the bank or these regulators, of course, you definitely don't want to mask your transaction, but you have an option to mask it though. So different blockchains, they can't interoperate with each other, but like I mentioned so many times, they are able to communicate with each other. And this is the best part about Crosschain, is because, just look at the last part. You see, with Wanchain, right, a blockchain which has a lower performance or higher gas fee are able to leverage on another blockchain which offer better, larger user base, higher performance, and a cheaper gas fee and stuff like that. So with Wanchain coming in the middle, everyone can leverage on each other, and how we can actually share the ecosystem. For example, Ethereum has a huge user base, and EOS as well. But what about other protocols, smaller protocols like the one below top 100 or after top 100? They don't. But with Wanchain, they are able to gain organic user base from Ethereum, from EOS, maybe from Tron. So everyone are actually communicating with each other. And not only that, just imagine yourself, if you have a smart contract on Ethereum or a dApp on Ethereum, you don't have to remove it. You can just copy and paste the code over to Wanchain. You are running 2 decentralized applications and issue ERC20 tokens. You do not even have to issue WRC20. We will do the swap at the back for you. So for Bitcoin rootstock, you have rootstock. So in the future, you can just copy and paste the code over, just remain your code and your app on rootstock, build another one on Wanchain. It's simple, it's minimal effort. You just copy and paste over, we will do the swap at the back for you as well. So every half, like I mentioned, every half yearly, we will have a new protocol doing cross-chain with us. You can actually copy and paste the code over and remain your app there while issue their native token. You do not have to issue our native token. This is how powerful Wanchain is. Oops. Oh, okay, that's a video here to sum up what I mentioned. Okay, how do I play it? Oops.
The world of finance as we know it will forever be changed by the innovation of the digital asset. Since the introduction of Bitcoin in 2009, applications built on blockchain technology have exploded. New digital assets on public, private, and consortium blockchains have driven the market cap to hundreds of billions of dollars. And this trend will continue. The problem is that each of these blockchains operate in its own silo. Decentralized applications on a specific blockchain can only access digital assets on that particular blockchain. Applications that need to reach multiple blockchains must depend on a centralized and vulnerable exchange to facilitate the access. This is similar to how banks operate today. Moving money from one bank to another is a slow and expensive process, with different ledger entries being created at each bank to record the transaction. If there is ever going to be an internet of blockchains, they'll have to communicate. Wanchain is here to give you access to all the world's dApps and digital assets like decentralized exchanges and payment and lending dApps from a single blockchain. Based on Ethereum's codebase, Wanchain's blockchain can run any traditional smart contract utilizing existing toolchains. Wanchain's implementation of secure multi-party computation and threshold key sharing allows any distributed app to access any digital asset from any blockchain in Wanchain's blockchain. Additionally, Wanchain has implemented Monero-style privacy protection with ring signatures, one-time addresses, and stamp systems to obfuscate all transactions. Built upon the pillars of privacy, cross-chain, and smart contracts, Wanchain is here to lead the financial services industry into the new digital frontier. Wanchain, rebuilding finance.
Okay, I hope that is clearer about what the basic fundamentals of Wanchain is all about.
The world of...
Oops. So basically, these are some key technologies for Wanchain. We are using the storeman mechanism, SMPC, which is secure multi-computation, threshold key sharing, as well as hash time lock contract, more or less something like atomic swap. I will explain more in the slides later. So using Wanchain technology, of course, you can actually transfer fungible and non-fungible assets across each other with so many other chains, ETC, BTC, ERC20, other bigger public chains and stuff like that. So the first one is storeman mechanism. So basically, storeman acts like a person that actually handles the cross-chain, the cross-chain between chains, between Wanchain, Ethereum, Wanchain and Bitcoin, Wanchain with other public chain. So, so just so you know, Wanchain is actually proof of work now. We will be realizing our POS end of this year, in end of 2019. So now the storeman, we are still holding the node and everything. We are still researching how many nodes should there be for storeman and how many nodes should there be for validators and voucher. Just so you know, vouchers and validator are other smaller nodes as well. So we will have 3 different kind of nodes: voucher, validator, and storeman. So this is a secure multi-computation and threshold key sharing. Now for the moment, you will need 21 storeman node for every protocol or every coin that you cross-chain with. So for example, for Ethereum, you need 21 nodes. Bitcoin, another 21 nodes. USDT, another 21 nodes. What else? GUSD, another 21 nodes. So for every coin you cross-chain with, you need 21 nodes. This is for the time being before we come up with a final conclusion. It may be lesser than that. Maybe in the future it could be all ERC20 or you need 21 nodes. But we are still unsure of that yet. We are still researching about it. But by the end of March 31st, the research paper should be out. I will show you guys later. So when it comes to SMPC and threshold key sharing, right, how it happens is that we will actually structure the storeman will actually structure the private key and public key. And all you need is 16 confirmation instead of 21 to actually make the cross-chain transaction verified and happen. The private key won't be shown in the network, not at all. So this is how the hash time lock contract works. So basically, this is a wallet holder, this is a storeman, this is a Ethereum, this is a hash time lock account for Ethereum, this is a hash time lock contract for Wanchain, and this is a native token ERC20 and Wanchain native token WRC20. So how it happened is that the wallet holder will send a proof request to Ethereum network, and then automatically a lock request will be sent to the hash time lock contract. So the token will be transferred and locked in the ETH hash time lock contract. So there's no double spending, one here, one here. And then the storeman will pick up the event that the token, the ERC20 token, has been sent to the ETH hash time lock contract. And the storeman will send a lock request to Wanchain hash time lock contract. And then the event will be sent to the wallet holder, and they will know that the token is locked here and locked here already. So now to retrieve the WRC20 token, the wallet holder will send a request to one hash time lock contract, and they will receive the token. You see, there's a double spending here. So storeman will pick up the event and eventually send a request so that the token will be sent to the storeman. But this is actually a very basic function of atomic swap. Ultimately, we still need to do atomic swap on the layer 1. But what is beautiful about it is that when all the tokens are actually inside Wanchain ecosystem already, you can actually swap and trade your WETH, WPTC and stuff like that. Or any like WUSDT or WGUSD, all between Wanchain ecosystem, all between Wanchain wallet itself. You do not have to actually trade with other, go to exchanges or decentralized exchanges to do it. You can do it on Wanchain protocol itself. So Wanchain is privacy protection and cross-chain ability. Let me show you something. Let's say this is a LAN chain, LAN chain, and LAN chain. So how do we scale the problem in the future? This is such thing called as an industry chain. So for example, if you are a prominent company, if you have an existing business or you are big in that certain industry, let's say you're from the logistic industry, we will give you a LAN chain. Or maybe you're from F&B industry, you own an F&B LAN chain. So there's an industry, F&B, and any logistic F&B. So any logistic related decentralized application can just build on your chain. You own that whole logistic chain. You do not have to come to one chain. So you own your mini blockchain here yourself. You can choose to become fully private, fully public, or hybrid. This is what I'm doing with one of our listed company in Malaysia. they will probably own a LAN chain themselves. So imagine when there are more and more industry holding all the LAN chain. So the Wanchain network won't get congested, but instead, that specific industry, let's say the marketing LAN chain, the logistic LAN chain, F&B LAN chain, they all run their own mini blockchain, and they can actually interconnect with other decentralized applications which are built on other blockchain like Ethereum or maybe Stellar, EOS, and they can actually interconnect with each other through Wanchain protocol. So not only the decentralized applications that are built on Wanchain can connect with other decentralized applications built on other chains, but the private chain here as well. And not only that, these private chains that are built on Wanchain, they can actually communicate with private chain from other chains as well if they permit. So this is an example of a decentralized exchange solution. So all these are the native coins, and if they go through one chain, it will all become proxy tokens here. And all these like OX, Kyber network, Loopringdex, IDEX or whatever, they can actually have pairing like ETH pairing, BTC pairing, and if you have Crosschain with Stellar, you have XLM pairing, or Crosschain with EOS, they can have EOS pairing on their decentralized exchanges. So for example, now there's a wrap BTC, right? It's called WBTC by BitGo, but it's pretty much centralized because BitGo actually manages and verifies how much BTC is there for the wrap BTC. But with Wanchain, it's not. It's decentralized because in a way that it's all validated by the storeman. And we are all playing with proxies here, which is already decentralized on layer 1 itself. So this is a good use case for a decentralized exchange. I'm not sure if I can share or not, but I think there should be a real DEX which has all this pairing in June with one of the bigger decentralized exchange. So this is our multi-wallet feature. You can actually go download it from our GitHub or website. This is our blockchain explorer. Oh yeah, we might be changing the facade for this and all. So this is our hardware wallet. We are connected with Trezor. It's an example of it. These are some of our third-party tools which are contributed by the community. So this is a one faucet, and you can get OneCoins to fund the one-time account, one-time address transactions. It's for privacy. This is one mask. You know, like how MetaMask is like. We have one mask up now. This is one statistic and stuff. I think this is quite similar with the Ethereum statistic and all, right? But yeah. So this is my one wallet, just like how my Ether wallet is. We have this up as well. This one scan, like ETH Explorer and all, yeah. So this is the Wanchain ecosystem overview. It's not updated. This is as of last year in August. So yeah, I see LongHash name is there. Oh yeah, one interesting thing is Polo Network. So I remember some protocol was doing the name service thing and all, right? So Polo Network is actually a name service provider. So actually in the future, Mark, you don't have to put in your public address and all. So Mark.1 can actually send whatever coin to shikai.wan. So actually you can just register yourself and Polo Network. It's a Taiwanese project. So we are the first one that actually integrated with them. So you have one name service now. Let me see what else is interesting here. Yeah, integrated with MakerDAO. Yeah, Hyperledger, which I'll explain more later what we're doing in Hyperledger. These are some of the Chinese projects that we are doing. So, yeah. So basically, have you guys heard of Telefonica?
Yes.
Yeah. So we partner with Telefonica. They will be using our platform for we call it mobile security on blockchain. So this is one of the biggest news that came out from us in January. So just Telefonica is actually pretty much related to O2. They are one of the biggest telco players in Europe. What we are doing in Hyperledger is Hyperledger Code for Crosschain initiative. So I'll explain more of that to you later. So in Q1 2019, we will be releasing the proof of stake research paper, so the community will be able to read it And we will be also releasing the next batch of ERC20 integrations. We are more likely to focus on integrating stablecoin over first. Quarter 2 2019, the alpha testnet for the POS that we study in quarter 1, we'll be testing it. And of course, we'll be integrating a new blockchain. It's definitely going to be a top 10 coin in CoinMarketCap, which has a lot of decentralized applications so that Ethereum might be able to connect with them already. So we'll improve our wallet, UI, UX, and the next batch of ERC20, I'm still not too sure what will we be bringing over, but let's see. Of course, quarter 3 2019, the beta testnet for POS will be out, and in the next batch of ERC20, and we will be having a mobile wallet. And finally, in quarter 4 2019, the POS will go live on mainnet. Bear in mind, we're already on our mainnet now, but this is for the POS here. So any voucher, validator, storeman, how much coins you need to hold, everything will be out. We'll be integrating with a new blockchain. So this is the more interesting part. Remember I was speaking about Wanchain earlier? So in the Wanchain, you're actually using Wanchain consensus. But in quarter 4 2019, if you want to switch to Hyperledger, up to you, be my guest. You can just switch it anytime you want to. So all private chains get to choose to use Wanchain consensus or Hyperledger. It's up to you guys. So with this way, we can target more enterprises, which we already did in China. One of the initiatives is that 3 use cases in China. One with a Chinese province, where we elevate the poverty. We trying to send money more efficient way, and partnership with 2 financial institutions. But I'm not allowed to share it. So, and now Telefonica in Southeast Asia is partnering with one of the listed company in Malaysia that's doing cross-border payment for companies in Southeast Asia. So for the other developments, definitely security token offering. We have our security token standard out. It's actually very, very interesting. So I don't think we can share it now, but we will have it out to the public probably in end of quarter 1 or early quarter 2. So we will try to refine our Crosschain capabilities like what we are doing now, and we will continue focus on rebuilding finance. And of course, Monero is not the final privacy feature, and we will study like which other privacy coin is out there so we can integrate them. And this is our staking pilot. So basically, like I mentioned earlier, remember I said the amount of coins that you need for your storeman node will be only out in end of the year. So we are trying to introduce a storeman for 4 million won now. This is just a testing pilot, just testing and see what we can achieve from this storeman staking. And each of the user, they can stake 1,000 to 5,000 won. And of course, it's 4%. The return is 4% for 3-month period. We have to lock your coin for 3 months. So the timeline is here. You can actually visit our website or visit our Medium to know more about this if you're interested in staking your coins. So the bidding will start in March, and the staking pilot period will begin from April, May, June. There may be another staking pilot after July. We're not too sure yet. Let's see how the first one goes first. So we need to do this to know like how effective the storeman mechanism is and stuff like that. So these are some of the applications that can happen on Wanchain, like decentralized exchanges. We are doing it now. Asset management tools, we have it. Payments and lending applications, we have it as well. ICO security token offering, yes. Not supply chain yet. Index funds, maybe, for one of the projects that's building on us now. Stable coins, derivatives, and especially this industry chain, like I mentioned earlier, like all these industries can actually own their own mini blockchain and build the dApp on that specific chain and don't have to build on us. So yeah, you're like an owner of a blockchain, right, for free. So this is our Twitter and our Telegram, but this is of course for the Asia one. The international one is not here with me now. So feel free to ask me any questions. Thank you.
Are you able to dive deeper into the use case for Telefonica, or is that something?
It's actually on the news now. You can just Google Telefonica Wanchain. So that is what we can share with you. But yeah. So it's one of the really good use cases, but if you happen to be in Barcelona in February, we will be demonstrating what we are building in the Mobile Congress, in the World International Mobile Congress. Yeah. So we are working hard on to develop something now with them. It's looking positive.
So are you only focused on finance, kind of DApps?
Not really, but not really. Actually, not really. There are more non-finance app owners now than financial apps itself.
But if any of the DApps actually want their own land chain, they can also do that, right?
Yes, they can, but we wouldn't. They can actually do that. Yes, they want their own land chain. They can actually do that. But it's quite costly to actually own a land chain like this because we have to customize up to what your API can plug in. But yeah, let's see how it goes. It can be discussed.
To run it themselves.
Because we have to customize to your SDK. Like we have to customize the SDK and also you can plug and play and everything. But if you are capable to do that yourself, yeah, it can happen. It can happen. But we would prefer big companies to actually own the land chain and make it their own industry chain instead. But yeah, if your idea is good, your project is good, like why not, right? Venture into it.
And so I understand that it's so exciting, like interoperability built on any of these blockchains, and then you can like integrate with the user base and so on. Then why do projects like want to build on Wanchain instead of just build on Ethereum? Let's say they're very familiar with it, or build on Tron and so on. I mean, what's the difference if let's say they know about you guys, but they just are more familiar with a certain blockchain for now?
So let's say if they are familiar with Ethereum, they can be very familiar with Wanchain as well, because it's a fork of Ethereum. Yeah. So I think if they are familiar with Tron, they might be very familiar with it as well, right? Because Tron, yeah. So why would they choose us? Because number one is for Crosschain features. Because if they build on us, they are able to connect with other EOS, like Ethereum that build on us can connect with EOS, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Tron, or whatever.
But if they are only native Ethereum DApp, then they don't have this interoperability function.
Yeah, they can come on us.
They can just copy and paste.
Yep. Yeah, we can just copy and paste. It's that simple. Yeah.
Takes like what? A day?
Not really. You just can because the codes are the same. So because we're integrated with us, right? You can actually just move it over.
So literally instant.
Yeah. It might take. I think the tech can answer better. But from what the product guy told me, right, it takes like less than half a day. Yeah, it's minimal effort. Yeah. Any other questions?
So are all transactions anonymous?
Sorry?
Are all
No. Unless you want it to be anonymous. So let's say, like I mentioned earlier, right? There will be, once you open your wallet, there will be two addresses, one public address and one private address. So if I were to send, if you give me your private address, the transaction will be anonymous. But if you give me your public address, the transaction won't be anonymous. Because we would like the idea of having a privacy feature there due to us trying to rebuild finance, and most transactions when it involve money, like real-time money or real settlement in this traditional world, most of them are private.
So on the Block Explorer, right, you see a transaction hash?
No,
There's no transaction hash.
it's private. What? It will show up as something, but we wouldn't know who sent to who.
Okay.
It's exactly same as Monero.
In terms of like interoperability, it's really good.
Okay.
If they build on Ethereum and then they come on your platform, then do they benefit from being more scalable, faster, and all that?
Actually, our from what I understand now is that our TXPS is just slightly more than Ethereum. I think it's about 40 transactions per second.
Oh, okay.
It's just slightly more only, but once our POS is done, end of the year, right, a new figure will come out. I can't promise you a figure, so I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I don't want to overpromise.
Okay. So in terms of like order of magnitude, just in...
But I think we are more scalable because there are not much dApps on us as compared to Ethereum.
Oh.
Yeah.
More space for now.
Yeah, more space for now. Or if you are able to, you can just get a land chain from us and you own that chain yourself, do whatever you want with it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so basically land chain is something that we are quite familiar with because been there since 2016 in China doing it under Wang Lu Tech brand.
So when Ethereum implements their new hard fork and so on, will you guys follow?
No, of course not, because let's say Ethereum is, and that's the reason why their plasma is delayed and all that, right? I mean, we did test it and all, but I don't know what's our POS yet, but let's see.
So it's your own POS?
Yeah, it's our own POS. It's definitely not following Ethereum. Yeah, we can, if Ethereum wants to shard or want to do their own consensus or better solution, we can, because we are for Ethereum, right? But of course, we always go for the better one. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.